What's going on, everybody? The GC. It's another G3 video, another combo breaker video with ya boy, Zex Immortal. And today I want to talk again about Dissidia NT, and I promise you guys this channel is not just a Dissidia channel only, but you know, it's still new, it's still fresh. I really enjoy the game, I love the game, and you know, I just felt I needed to talk about a few things in regards to, I see a lot of wish lists flying around, a lot of people who want a lot of characters in the game and whatnot. So I wanted to make my own, and while I make that, I don't just want to name characters, I kind of want to name their functions and their mechanics as well. So I'm going to name, let's say 5. I'm going to name 5 characters that I would like to see in Dissidia NT. And if you guys agree, let me know. If you disagree, let me know. If there's a character that you'd like to see in the game and whatnot, your own wish list, put it in the video below. Comment it, whatever, and we can discuss, we can debate, we can love, we can hate. But with that being said, I'm going to get into this. Now, I want everybody to know my Final Fantasy knowledge is 7 and up. That's my knowledge. Well, hold on. I played 7, 8, 9, 10. Unfortunately, 10 too. 12, I've seen 12 be played by a friend of mine. I've never touched 12, but I've seen 12 be played. Like, I know about Gambit systems and all that stuff, but I don't know too much about their characters, so I'm going to probably not touch them much. I know 13. I don't know 13-2 or the third one. I think there's 3 of them in that series. I think 13's a trilogy. So I'm not going to touch too much on 13. I have never played 14. I've never played 11. 15, obviously I've played that one. And also the greatest Final Fantasy ever made, Final Fantasy Tactics. And there's a spin-offs of Dirge Cerberus, Crisis Core, Type 0, that stuff. But I'm going to name 5 characters that I personally would like to see. This thing can get heavy. So let's discuss it. With character number 1, I'm a Final Fantasy VIII fanatic, so I'm just going to jump right into it and talk about the character that I would really want to see and how I see him being played in this game. And y'all know me already. Final Fantasy VIII, holding the gunblade, who do you think I'm going to say? Not Irvin, not Cell, not Renoa. Cell. Wow, I called him Cell. Cell would break the game, but not Zell. Cypher. I'd like to see Cypher in Final Fantasy Dissidia NT. Cypher is definitely one of those anti-hero characters, I'd say. Anti-hero or anti-villain. I think he was just a conflicted guy who just wanted to be important. But Cypher definitely I want to see in the game, and I want to see him as a vanguard. We already have an assassin gunblade wielder in Squall, but Cypher as a vanguard would be crazy. It'd be awesome to see him as that. Now, Squall the assassin, with his gunblade, he does like huge combos, a lot of combos. He's swinging that sword forever. Perhaps too long. I mean, there are times where I'm in the middle of a combo and I'm just like, oh my god, I gotta end this combo now because here comes Midnight Aaron's Tornado, no! Like stuff like that. Or whatever. But other than that, I think Cypher as a vanguard would be cool. He'd move slower, but he'd hit harder than Squall. And I feel for Cypher, his EX ability, because with Squall, when you time his attacks, he activates his trigger. Right? But with Cypher, I feel like his EX ability should be when you activate his EX ability, all his swings pull the trigger. And that's where his fat damage comes into play. Like his damage output, it's as if he has an auto Mighty Strikes per se, but with the gunblade parameters. So a Cypher with the auto trigger, and he only can pull the trigger when he's in EX. That will make him more of a heavy vanguard, and let's say he has like 3 or 4 swings in a combo. He's not some combo crazy guy or anything like that, so it's not like it's too broken, because it's not like he's doing 9 hits like Squall and each hit has vanguard damage plus the burst of the gunblade. But instead, it'd just be like 3 swings, 4 swings, but his damage is buffed. Of course, you can throw on top of that Ren Shield, Mighty Strikes, whatever. So that's how I would make Cypher in the game. Nice vanguard character. He's heavier than Squall. He moves slower than Squall, but he hits harder than Squall. He has a couple projectile moves as well, so that can work in his favor. Unlike Squall, he just has the Thunder Barret, They could give Cypher, I believe in the original Dissidia, Squall had a projectile move where he shoots fire, ice, and thunder or something like that. Just throw it on Cypher instead. And he has, I know Cypher has a move where he like charges up his gun blade and he swings it upwards and a tornado like blade comes out of nowhere and hits his targets. He obviously has that spinning move with another gust of tornado or whatever. Like, so he's definitely got HP damage potential. Now what his HP damaging moves will be, I don't know. I'll let you guys debate that. What kind of HP attacks would you give Cypher? And what kind of brave attacks would you give him? He's a Vanguard, so he needs range. He needs at least something that will counter the mages much better, or something that'll make him handle the assassins better, because, you know, Vanguards are supposed to be the direct counter to assassins. Cloud's got Blade Beam, and he's got Finishing Touch. Warrior of Light has the shield mechanic where he can immediately counter. Vayne, he has the Wave of Doom, where if you hit it, it'll go even further and has some good heat seek. Furion, don't even get me started with that guy. But, you know what I mean? Like, they all have answers that make them more plausible or harder to approach because they're Vanguards, right? So, Cypher, he'll need something like that. Y'all let me know what you would give him in the comments below. But that's Final Fantasy VIII. Cypher, Vanguard. That's what I would make him. Let's move on to let's go back in time a little bit and do Final Fantasy VII. Now, I know a lot of people like Laguna. I like Laguna. Laguna definitely is, like, my favorite second favorite gun wielder, I'll say. But I feel there's a better gun wielder that can fill that spot. A marksman from Final Fantasy VII. Because VII's got two Vanguards in Sephiroth and Cloud. Right? So, for 7, I would make a marksman, but not your traditional caster types. This one would wield a gun. And there are two who come to mind, of course. There's Barret, and then there's Vincent. Now, I personally would like to see Barret. Barret, to me, he was pretty badass. He's pretty badass, but Vincent by far takes the spotlight in terms of gun wielders. He even got his own name. He got his own game. But Vincent for sure. But if they put Vincent in the game, I want them to put the song Redemption from Dirt Cerberus. I'll rock the crap out of that song. But Vincent for sure needs to be a character in terms of marksmanship that represents Final Fantasy VII. I know everybody wants to see Tifa. I know that. But at the same time, I would like to see Tifa as well. But we have Vayne. And it seems like he's got Tifa-like moves. And I know they can make Tifa a little bit different. But if I got to choose between Tifa and Vincent, I would go with Vincent just because I haven't seen Vincent in a Dissidia environment. I've already seen Tifa. I want to see Vincent in a Dissidia environment. And having him as a shooter, his EX skill could just be him transforming into the Behemoth or that devil form he had in Dirge Cerberus, whatever. No, that could be his final HP attack. He transforms into the devil form and does some big thing. But I feel his EX ability turns him into the Behemoth, and then he switches from marksman to a Vanguard for like 30 seconds in that Behemoth form, and he does like crazy damage and whatnot. But I feel like the repercussion for transforming is he does crazy damage, but he can't do any HP attacks in his Behemoth form. He just builds brave and he just breaks people. That's all he does. He just hinders the other team tremendously. And then when he transforms out of his Behemoth, he keeps all the brave that he's accumulated, so when he goes back to normal Vincent, he can cash out right away whatever damage he's racked up as a marksman. So I feel that would benefit Vincent. Now what his HP attacks can be, that's for you guys to decide. I'm just naming the characters, what role I'd put them in, and what EX skill I would give them. So that would be it for 7 for me. So we got 2 so far. Cypher, and we got Vincent. Cypher's EX ability, auto trigger. Vincent's EX ability, Behemoth. Now let's move on to Final Fantasy IX. Yeah, let's do 9. Now 9 has 2 assassins in Zidane, or Zidane, whatever you guys want to call him these days, and Kuja. I would make Kuja specialist, but okay. In Zidane and Kuja. Now, a lot of people, when it comes to marksmans, I don't know how you wouldn't want to see Vivi. I feel like Vivi almost has more stardom than Zidane. but Vivi would be the marksman, but I'm not going to say Vivi. I think there's a more iconic character from 9 that I would love to play as, and she would be a Vanguard as well. Okay, good. I had to review my list for a second, because I'm like, wait, did I make Vincent a Vanguard too? No. It seems like I just want a whole bunch of Vanguards. But she is definitely a badass, and from Final Fantasy IX, I wish I could have played as her, or she would have joined my party. Because you can go with Zidane's brothers, you know, Marcus, Blake, and Cinna, the 4 pirates, or bandits, whatever they want to call themselves. Like, you can go with one of those guys. You can go with Vivi, you can go with Steiner, you can go with any of them, really. But there was one character that we all are like, yo, can she join my party? Beatrix. I love Beatrix. And I feel she would be an amazing fit in Dissidia NT representing the Final Fantasy IX side of things. And she could, you know, represent the females a little bit, right? Like, all of us guys, we got some badasses, but the female only got lightning. But, you know, we need us a little more badassery on the female side. And who better than Beatrix? Especially, imagine Beatrix and lightning crossing blades. Like, that'd be crazy. Having Beatrix run around on the map. Now, she would be a Vanguard. And the EX ability I would give her, I would make it Shock. But I know how Shock functions. The more damage she takes, the more she'll dish out that damage with Shock. You can't do that because it'd be hard to calculate, and Beatrix may as well have 9,999 Brave at the end of it all. So instead, what I would make it do is auto break somebody. Just automatically break them. She hits them with the EX skill, and it's basically like Doom, but it's not Doom. When she hits you with the EX ability Shock, she does get the break bonus above. So the additional 1,000 and whatnot. And Shock shouldn't make your character fall or freeze. Like, if she shocks you, you should like get knocked away so she cannot follow up. Because that would be some ridiculous shit. Like, if she shocks you and you get wall splattered, well then, be aware of your environment. There's only so much you can do, right? But I feel that would be a really good thing to give her. I would give her Shock, which auto breaks you regardless of the Brave you have. I know it sounds overpowered. It really does. It really does. But then I think about Kefka's EX ability, and every time Kefka gets that off, people are dying. Like, if you don't get incapacitated, then if your team doesn't get an incapacitation off of Kefka's thing, then your team just doesn't know what they're doing, or they just don't have enough Brave to do it. But 100% of the time, if someone's got Kill Brave, and you have Kefka on your team, and Kefka does that confuse, blind, debuff mania, like, if he does all that stuff, like, you're dead. You're dead. So I feel it wouldn't be too bad to give Beatrix Shock and let it have those parameters. She performs Shock, it knocks you back a tremendous distance, whether you're wall splatted or not. It knocks you back, auto break, she gets the Brave bonus. But with that being said, it should take a while for Shock to charge up. Like, I feel in order for her to get Shock, it doesn't build itself over time. Instead, the more Brave damage she takes, the more Shock charges. That's what it should be. Instead of it just charging over time, because people can just pick Bahamut and she can Shock the whole game and win it for her team. So I feel that's how it should function. So it's a double-edged, like, yeah, you know, I have this crazy move, but I have to get beat up to use it. So it could be her comeback factor, maybe. Who knows? But, moving on. So we got Beatrix, Cypher, and Vincent. Marksman, Vanguard. Let's see. We need someone to fill the assassin void. Now, if I look through a little bit here, let's throw in another assassin. And this one is from Crisis Core, and he is probably the most popular pick out of any Final Fantasy character that you will ever name. And I think everybody knows who I'm going with this one. Zack. From Crisis Core. Not Zack from anything else. Zack from Crisis Core. Now, Zack in Crisis Core has his own move list. He is completely different from Cloud. I think when he gets Cloud's circuit thingy, the roulette. If you play Crisis Core, you know what I'm talking about. When he gets Cloud, I believe he gets Meteor. Or Meteor Rain. Wow, Meteor. He gets Meteor Rain. But that's about it. That's the only similarity he has with Cloud. But Zack seems faster than Cloud because he wasn't wielding the Buster Sword. Now, you can unlock the Buster Sword. This is a Gunblade. But you can unlock the Buster Sword in Final Fantasy Crisis Core. You gain it by, you know, I don't want to say any spoilers, but you do get the Buster Sword as Zack. And Zack wields that sword different from Cloud. He wields it a lot quicker than Cloud does. Zack is more about speed, where Cloud's more about when I hit you, you're gonna feel it. So with Zack, I would make him an assassin. He moves faster than Cloud, but Cloud has Blade Beam. Cloud has Finishing Touch. He has moves that can poke you from afar, where Zack does not. Zack needs to get in. And I believe some of his circuits where he gets Angeal, he goes into this fisticuffs and he starts beating you up, or if he calls in the Turks, a helicopter will rain missiles or something like that. Like, he has different things about him. And that's what I would go with Zack. Now, his EX ability. So Zack's an assassin wielding the Buster Sword. If you were to give Zack an EX ability, what would it be? I don't know. I'm stumped. You know, now that I think about it, I guess for Zack, took some time to think. For Zack, I would give him Power Surge for his EX ability. And what Power Surge will do is, it'll give him one of three things randomly. And this works with, maybe not randomly actually, he'll have an aura. Every time it recharges, he'll get a different colored aura around him. If he has a blue aura and he activates Power Surge, then all him and his allies will get like Mighty Guard, per se. It will buff their defense. If he has a green aura, he can let out a healing Power Surge that will heal him and his allies by 500 HP, or 300 or 500, whatever. Or he can have a orange-like aura, and when he Power Surges, his Brave stays fixed. So, let's say he has 3,500 Brave, and then he lets out that Power Surge. No matter how much damage he takes, or how much damage he gives, his Brave will not increase or decrease, unless he does something like Share Bravery, then of course. But other than that, unless he himself is doing something directly to affect his Brave stays fixed for, let's say, 10 seconds. 10 seconds is a long time, trust me. His Brave stays fixed for, let's say, 10 seconds, and within those 10 seconds, doesn't matter how much punishment he takes, his Brave stays at 3,500. When he cashes it out, then it drops to 0. And then, of course, the Power Surge wears off and blah, blah, blah. So, I feel that'd be pretty cool for Zack to have as an assassin. It would make him really different than Cloud. A lot more different than Cloud. Where Cloud has Limit Break, Zack has Power Surge. And again, his Power Surge does one of three things depending on the aura that emits off of him. And you cannot choose the aura he gets. So, it's random, but they're all very beneficial in a sense. You can buff the defense of your allies for a fixed amount of time. You can heal your allies by 300 HP or 500 immediately. So like if someone's out of the fight, you just fly over to them instead of an HP regen that does 20 by the second, you give them an instant 300, then they can do the HP regen or whatever. Or he can just Power Surge and keep his Brave stuck, and just run up on somebody and just assassinate him, because he is an assassin. So that's how I would do Zack. So let's see now. Who we got here? We got Cypher, Vanguard. We got Vincent, Marksman. We got Beatrice, Vanguard. And now we got Zack, Assassin. Let's do our fifth. I might throw a sixth because there's another character I want to throw in there. I'll make it like a bonus character. Let's do our fifth character, and our fifth character is going to hail from Final Fantasy X. Final Fantasy X. From 10, this one might surprise you guys a little bit. This one's going to be a marksman as well. Vincent and this one, those are my two marksmen. Cypher and Beatrix are my vanguards. Okay, yeah, and Zack is my assassin. Okay. this one is gonna probably surprise you guys. Another marksman, but a little bit different. Again, not a spellcaster, not Yuna. I would go with Orin as a Vanguard, because Orin, he's cool, and he kind of makes himself, but I would go with Orin as a Vanguard, Kimari as an assassin, Lulu as a marksman. Like, Final Fantasy X has a great cast of characters, and you can really just pick who you want, although I believe the assassin of choice would be Riku. But the marksman that I'm going to go with here is Wakka. And I can't believe I said that, but Wakka. Imagine having a guy on the field that just hurls blitzball after blitzball after blitzball at you. And with his EX ability, he can actually activate a different type of blitzball that he wants. Now, again, the random number generator comes into play, but when you activate his EX ability, maybe now all his blitzballs are spiked, so they do extra damage. Like, you know how Noctis's Royal Arms, when he hits you, you get an additional 5 damage, like 5 more times by like 5 other swords? He can have a blitzball that hits you, and instead of it just knocking you back, it kind of grinds on you a little bit. Like Van's abilities, his HP attacks. When he does an HP attack, it might hold you for a bit to even do more brave damage. So he can throw a brave thing and it grinds on you. It can set up some good combos and whatnot, or whatever the case may be. But just imagine having Wakka on the battlefield just throwing blitzballs at you. So his EX ability can give him a spiked ball that kind of holds you in place for a little bit, kind of like grinds on you to do more additional damage to shave off more brave. And being as you're stabbed, you can have like a bleed out effect, so after the ball finishes its animation on you, you start losing brave, like as if you were poisoned. Or he can have a blitz ball that is electrified, and when he hits you with it, it seals your EX abilities for a little bit. Or he can have a blitz ball that's ice. An ice blitz ball, when he hits you with it, it explodes into ice and it freezes you in place like Shiva. And it can set up a kill. So, Marksman Wakka. Who would have thought, right? Yeah, who would have thought? Wakka. Of all the people I would name, Wakka. But he's pretty famous, actually. A lot of people actually like your boy Wakka. So, yeah. Let's move on, though. There's not much I can talk about in terms of Wakka. But let's move on a little bit, and let's talk about another character that I would love to see in Dissidia NT. And this character hails from Tactics, War of the Lions. And he played a major role. Now, Tactics doesn't have a villain yet, and Tactics has a ton of villains in that game. What I liked about Tactics was how many story arcs there were. Instead of just, it's us against Sephiroth, it's us against Adia, it's us against Seymour. You know, this one, it had so many arcs, almost felt very story-driven, which is good. So there are 3 characters from Tactics that come to mind right away. Agrius, Gafgarin, and Delita. And maybe I botched these names, maybe not. Gafgarin is a mercenary in the beginning. He wears brown armor, he's an old guy. He does the Hell Stab or something like that, where he throws his sword or he slashes his sword. The screen goes black, red pillars, red streams form above you, then a red pillar shoots out. When it hits you, the damage he does is the damage he heals. So there's him. There's Agrius, the girl who does Stasis Sword, and the ice rains down on you. And there is my boy, Delita. He is perhaps the secondary main character of the game. Like, if there's another character that's equally as important as Ramza, it's Delita. And I would throw him in that game. And his EX ability could be Holy Explosion, if it's not an HP attack. There's not much on Delita that I can go based off of. So either Holy Explosion would be his EX ability, where it does brave damage and it confuses you for a bit. Or did Holy Explosion confuse, or did it silence? If it silences, then it seals your EX abilities, but if it confuses, then it just mixes up your controls a bit. Or it can be an HP attack. His final HP attack at that. Because I believe, like, when he had that move, that was the only move that I would use for him. But But yeah, he'd definitely be a poetic fit to counter Ramza. Dalila is definitely a good fit there. He's not the direct villain. He's just a character with his own ambitions and his own methods per se. Gafgaren would be more the villain in that sense, and Agrias is more of like the badass support character chick that joins you later. But yeah, that's what I would go in terms of that. So we have, let's count them up. We have Cypher, Vanguard, Vincent, Marksman, Beatrix, Vanguard. Who else did we go with? Zack, Assassin, Waka, Marksman, Delita. I didn't pick a class for him. Okay. Ramza's a specialist. Damn. Because in Final Fantasy Tactics, you could just change the roles at will. So what would you... How would you guys put him if you had the opportunity to? I'll let you guys decide his role in Dissidia NT should he have come to fruition. Other than that, that's 6 characters. I said I was going to do 5, but I did 6 instead. So that's the 6 characters that I would put in Dissidia NT, my wish list, and how they would all make sense in that universe. I can do another wish list with villains and talk about how I would fit the villains, exclude like only villains, or maybe I can do one with whatever. I can do a wish list part 2 if this is something that you guys would like to hear. Like, hey, if I wanted this character in the game, how would you make it work, Zex? And I can be like, well, you know what, if you put this character in the game, I think this is what I would do for this character and whatnot. If you got a wish list, go ahead and put it in the comments below. And if you want me to discuss your wish list and how I personally would make them function, I'll do that. I'll put my honest thought towards it, and I'll think hard on it, and I'll make it, or I'll do my best to make it make sense. But that is this Convo Breaker, the wish list of Final Fantasy Dissidia NT. This Gunblade is actually pretty heavy, but I like holding on to it. It's nice to hold on to. Trust me, if you have a Gunblade or a blade in general, aside from a kitchen knife, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Come on. Come on. You know what I mean. Besides, I got the dangly line thingy. Anyways, that will wrap it up for this video. I have played with a few subscribers already. I even made reference to one, Aaron. His goddamn X-Death in that maelstrom, man. I swear, I could be in the middle of a combo and this tornado will form, and I'm just like, oh no, because I've already committed to the combo. But Midnight Aaron, man, we have some good games. Unfortunately, we face each other more than we play with each other. But I know there's a couple more subscribers who are like, yo, you know, I'd like to play with you sometimes. I am getting to playing with you guys. It's just, I have a fat friends list, and I just go through whoever's available. Some of you I message and you're already... Well, I don't message, but I like look at your progress, your session. If I see you're already in a game with people, I kind of just, you know, leave you to your friends and whatnot. But I'm not dodging anybody. I am open to play with everybody. Because, quite frankly, I know a lot of people care about their ranks in that game. And I do my best. Trust me, I do my best. I got a mean squall. My squall is pretty mean. And I D-ranked yesterday back to Diamond C. I was a B. But I'm back to a C. It's no big deal, really. I'm more focused on... It's no big deal. Of course, a Squall main would say that. But I'm primarily focused on ranking up with the G3 crew, Tyrion, Tyrant, and myself. Like, I want that rank to be better than my solo rank. Right now, the 3 of us have a 70% win ratio when the 3 of us play together. So if you bump into G3, it's ya boys! Zax Immortal, Apex Tyrant, and Tyrion. And we got a 70% win ratio, and we're open to do custom games with anybody. Send me a message, add me, Zex Immortal is the PSN, one word, Zex Immortal, Z-E-X Immortal. Add me, and I'll play with you guys. I don't mind, it's just a game, and unless it's a tournament, I really don't care if I win or lose, but I understand rank is a lot to a lot of you people, so believe me when I say I will always put my best foot forward, always. And if we go on a losing streak and, you know, you kind of want to dump me, I understand. No hard feelings. But that will wrap up this video. I'm Zex Immortal. This was Convo Breaker.